Hello and welcome to this video. If you don't know me, my name is Thomas. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm passionate about wellness, about advanced health technologies, about consciousness, about personal development. And my top priority in life is sovereignty. So I'm discovering tools, I'm discovering projects, I'm discovering practices that I use to establish myself in my sovereignty. Might it be financial, in my relationship, in my energetics, in my personal being. And then, if they work, I can share them with my network. I can share them with you. So today we're going to talk about a possibility for you to diversify your income stream by joining a conscious ecological project that is actually doing good in the world and has a chance of shifting something that is a huge disaster for us today, plastic waste. You're going to discover in this presentation the true state of the plastic production and waste management in this planet. And thankfully, there is a conscious project we can join in a passive way or in even an active way, and becoming ambassador for the project like I am, and really generate a diversification of our income stream. So, in order to establish further in your sovereignty, you can follow me and discover a project that you might join in order to learn and discover what can be done that is good for the planet, that is good for the people, that is good for the members of this community, and that is a win-win-win. Everybody wins in these projects, and that's why I really love it. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's dive in. CORSAIR, for a cleaner future. Here we're talking about a paradigm shifting for plastic pollution. And I'm so excited to present that to you. So in this presentation, let's be clear. I'm going to try to be the most fast and the most concise as possible with giving you all the information. That's my style. I was a former strategy consultant. So today, let's talk about the context and the sector. Let's talk about the project itself. Let's talk about the strategy and the business model that is offered through that partnership with the company. Who is behind it? What are the credibility factors? And how to join the project. First of all, I'm an independent ambassador for this project, so what I say is up to me. I'm just presenting facts and I'm presenting opportunities through this partnership. Okay, so let's talk about the context, plastic pollution. We don't really need to share a lot of pictures, and I'm not here to do sensationalism. But you know the reality of it, you heard about it, and if you're not living in one of the developed countries, then you see it every day in nature, in the rivers, in the beaches, like for example here in Indonesia. So recently I got into that topic. I got an interest coming to me and I started to dig, to do some research. And actually the situation is much more alarming than I thought. That's why I'm joining this project. You heard maybe about what's happening in the oceans. There's not one, but apparently 7 plastic garbage patches that are circulating at the surface of the oceans because of the currents. So I looked at the numbers. Here, you see the global plastic pollution since 1950. That's approximately when we started to manufacture it industrially. So what do we see? Well, we see an exponential growth. And you know what's the problem with exponential. So here we are producing new plastic more than 400 million tons. And that's from 2019. So now we're probably at 500 million tons new every year. All right. What's not in this graph is that during the COVID crisis, that production jumped another 20%, which is like it's a little bit more vertical if you could see it on the graph. Why? Because of all the deliveries, the Amazon, the packaging, and so on, people staying at home. So the production is going crazy. Concretely, it will double from 2022 to 2030. That's what happens with an exponential curve. Now let's look at the cumulative production of plastic since 1950. Of course, it's going to be exponential too, because we keep producing more and more. So today we're going to reach probably the 9 billion tons. That's all the plastic that has been ever produced on this planet. And according to this study, they say that today, maximum 20% of the plastic that is produced will be recycled. Truthfully, it's the most hopeful and optimist analysis that I've seen, usually experts agree between 7 to 10% of the new plastics that will end up to be recycled. Interesting. Now let's take a look at what happens to the plastic in its life cycle. So that's from 2015, 8.3 billion tons of plastic. What happened? Most of them, they were only used once, and they're going to end up in nature. 60% to be accurate. So 60% of all the plastic that has ever been produced ends up in nature, in the river, in the landfills, in the ocean. 10% almost get burnt open air. That's actually really bad for the environment as well, not a solution. 1.2% has been recycled and is still in use. And 30% is still in use today because it was recently manufactured. So that's just to have an idea. A lot of plastic ends up in nature. That's a massive problem, especially that all the curves are exponential. We're going to see it. Everybody starts talking about it. Now, if we take a look at what's happening in the oceans, from that study in 2013, they said that we have approximately, 268,000 tons of plastic at the surface of the ocean. Of course, compared to 60% of 8 billion, there's a lot of plastic missing. Where does it go? Or it stays on the landfills and slowly goes into the ground, or, as studies show, not this one, but you can look on the internet, I'll put the video attached to this video, most of the plastic, 99% in the ocean, ends up at different levels of the biodiversity, namely in the floors, in the sediments. All right, so we have now a problem that is worldwide, that is for the entire planet, for the environment, and for all of humans, because we can't continue to produce exponentially and that it ends up in nature without it being an urgent problem to deal with at some moment. And that's what's happening lately with the European Commissions, the United Nations starting to talk about it. So it's an international problem, it's complex, and it's exponential, which is why we're talking about it now. The current paradigm is to hide or to burn this waste, or on your land, or even push it to the neighbor or in the ocean. That's the reality of it in most countries in the world that produce a lot of plastic waste. Now, the politics, global politics, but it will depend on the country. It depends on if it's a developed country or if it's still a growing economy. But basically, it doesn't matter. The urgency of the situation, it requires solutions. And that's why the governmental bodies and political bodies are starting to really tackle the topic, which is in our favor in this opportunity. I want to show you a video. I found this video on Instagram a few days after I launched my project, and it's showing that after the drastic rains in Bali, in Indonesia, all the plastic from nature got into the rivers and then into the cities. Now that's a huge problem because did you see on the video? Like, this is the reality that some people are living in. Truly. Okay, though, I just wanted to share this video because for me it was very clear that we have a major problem and it's in our face. When there's big rains in the third world countries, all the plastic that has been thrown in nature comes back to be in our face. That's a huge problem. There are solutions, thankfully. So what do I want to show to you now? The regulations in the plastic waste industry, it comes from Europe. Since 2021, things are starting to shift. The European objective has been set and clearly communicated. The companies that are manufacturing new plastic or importing new plastic now will have to use more than 30% of recycled material, recycled plastic, before 2030. And of course, they're talking about one day reaching circular economy, which means that all the plastic that has been produced can be recycled and will be recycled. Now, if we take a look I went digging a little bit. That's from the European Commission. What it's saying here, we're not going to read the whole slide, is that only 6% today of the new plastic material, they come from recycling. That's why they want to up it to 30. That's their current analysis. And they analyzed also that they're losing 100 billion euro per year because they can't recycle. That's coming from the European Commission. Again, from the European Commission, something very interesting. It's public, it's even translated in many languages. For the first time, they have given a uniform call rate, meaning a first idea of what taxes could look like, or more accurately fines, 80 cents per kilograms. That's 800 euros per ton for plastic that has not been meeting the minimum recycling standards. It's not yet in action, but for the European Commission to start to put it out publicly, it's telling the industry, hey guys, we need to address this topic. So we know it's a big industry, it's going to take some time, but this is what it's going to look like. By 2030, in 8 years, we need 30% recycled material, and we will be very strict about it. And this is an idea of what the fine could look like. 800 kilograms per ton is huge in the plastic industry. Let's talk about recycling, because we recycle, right? We recycle plastic bottles, we have all these bins where we sort out our trash. What's the status? To be very accurate, the recycling of plastic bottles today in the world, it's done through what is called mechanical recycling, and it's well developed. We're not even going to talk about it. It's working in most countries, even in the third world. For example, you see this garbage truck in Bangkok? This is the drivers, and they're looking through the trash to take the plastic bottles so that they can go sell them for very cheap, but at least some money, to the recycling companies. This means that when the trash arrives in the landfills or in nature, what can be recycled through the plastic bottle recycling process is already done. What's left is what we don't know what to do with it. Is the soft, single-use film plastics. The majority of the plastic waste is what is left. And it's an issue. We don't know what to do. It just ends up being burnt or in the river. It's a massive challenge, which hides a great opportunity. So let's talk about it now, because that's where it gets interesting. We have a vast market. Why? Because there is a way to recycle this soft plastic that are ending up for free everywhere in the environment. Just so you know, 50% of this waste is from single-use packaging. So already there's a lot to be done at the early stage of the life cycle. Pyrolysis, it's a really efficient solution. It's not new. It consists of heating up the plastic in an environment without oxygen, which will, if it was cleaned properly and sorted out, produce gas, which then will be burned by the machine to make the machine run. So it reuses the own energy that it creates. And a plastic oil. Let's call it a plastic oil. It's also called a advanced biofuel. This plastic oil, it's the recycled material from which we can make new plastic, and it's high quality. Worldwide, the production today of recycled plastic oil is estimated at 20 to 50 million liters per year. The demand, because the regulations are starting to impose that, is already estimated at 100 billion liters per year. You know what this means? There is a huge opportunity here. It's a times 200. Why? Because of the regulations. Because now it's going to be more and more mandatory to use recycled plastic. So the companies manufacturing plastic, they're going to have to get this recycled material. And the great thing with this project that you start to understand is that we can get it for free from the landfills, from nature, and then sell it to the petrochemical industries. Now there's a second vast market, which makes it even more exciting, this whole presentation, this whole opportunity. Today, it is expected that regarding plastic waste and plastic pollution, governments and countries will implement something similar than what they did for carbon. Remember the carbon emissions, we need to compensate. Some companies cannot produce more than these carbon emissions because it's below their credit, and so on, has been implemented already. It's always like that. There's a huge global issue that is due to consumerism and due to our lifestyle. And then suddenly the big governing bodies, they're going to say, oh, we need to do something about it. But it's always the same people that will end up to pay. It will be the individuals that will have to pay for compensating their plastic emission, and the companies which will have to pay for a plastic credit to compensate from the environment what they produce. Only makes sense. Why? Because it's going to be governed by the same regulations than for carbon. But it's only starting now, which is a great opportunity. So we're going to go towards a plastic credit. The companies, the states, the nations, they're going to need a mechanism to prove that they're compensating the plastic pollution that they emit. Now the processes and the technologies to be able to really prove to the world on the market, okay, I'm compensating this amount of pollution, it's been defined now, because here we're talking just a few months, a few years. So that's the concept of plastic credit, a way to offset the pollution that a body, an organism, a nation, a company is producing plastic, but it needs to compensate it, but it's not going to go in nature picking up trash. You know, it's not going to be sustainable this way. Thankfully, some companies are doing that, and they're actually going to recycle the oil like you saw before. So you're starting to see that there's something smart that can be done here. So let's talk about this company, because they found a way to do it smart. That's what I love about it. CORSAIR, it's a consortium of companies. So it's many companies working together. And their goal is to find viable business solutions for big environmental issues like plastic waste. So this is not a hippie project. They want to make it something that makes sense from the business standpoint for big companies, for big systems, for big money. Emplivo, you're going to hear about it, is just the business branch of CORSAIR, which allows the development of the business through the network, through finding additional financing to open further the recycling centers. So those are the two names we're going to talk about, CORSAIR and Emplivo. Great. They put together something genius, in my opinion, regarding this topic that we laid out the context for you. It's innovative and it's ingenious. Number one, CORSAIR is going to recycle the plastic waste from its centers that are next to landfills and where there's a lot of plastic waste coming in. And they're going to recycle it with the standard pyrolysis machine, which are not rocket science, into plastic oil. And this oil, they're going to sell it back to the plastic manufacturing companies, which are the petrochemical industry that now needs it by regulation. So, a business based on industry, based on the real economy. Simple. Number two, they put together something even smarter. They put together an audited certification process to make sure that they can track and prove that an amount of plastic was removed from the environment and already recycled. And today in the world, there's a great technology to prove something like this, like a digital receipt. And it's called the blockchain. Not for cryptocurrency, which speculations, for an impossible to violate digital proof that is a receipt. So they created a token called CSR, and one token, we're going to talk about it after. So this token is proving in a way that is impossible to dispute on the global market that there is plastic that was recycled from the environment. And this not only by CORSAIR with their machine and so on, but also for other companies that are partnerships with CORSAIR, and they are already recycling plastic. They're going to be able to generate this token as well, which makes it probably an industry standard, and that's going to be the goal. We're going to come back to it. Number three, a token is emitted, like we said, when 100 grams of plastic waste was removed and already recycled from the environment. It's not emitted, it's not created, this token, before the recycling process, and that's audited and verified. So one CSR token equals 100 grams of plastic was removed from the environment. Now, a company or a state that is going to want to offset, to prove they're compensating their plastic pollution, we call this becoming plastic neutral, what they're going to do? They're going to buy this token, which is the proof that an amount was recycled, and they're going to burn it. So they're going to make it disappear with CORSAIR in exchange for the certificate saying, okay, this company, they paid to remove 5 tons of plastic from the environment this month, which compensate their plastic pollution. So they are plastic neutral for this month or for this year. So here is very clear how the token appears when an actual recycling process has been finished, and how the token disappears when the clients and the companies are exchanging the token, making it disappear against their plastic neutrality certification. So a little example. For human life, it's average for the whole world. In the developed countries, it's much more. It's estimated that we're going to produce 5 tons of plastic waste. That means that if you want to become plastic neutral, all you have to do is to buy 50,000 tokens and burn them. And in exchange, it means you will have paid to remove from the environment all the plastic that you will have generated in this life. That's going to be the concept, of course, more interesting for big companies, states, and organisms, but also available for individuals. Just for an idea, at the time of making this video, it would cost approximately €1,000 to compensate all the plastic you generate in your life. That's because the CSR token, of course, has a price that changes over time. Not like crazy speculative like the cryptocurrencies, but still, the more companies join the project, the more recycling plastic is being done, the more oil is being sold, and so on. The more the demand augments, the price goes up. Okay, now let me recap everything for you. We have waste procurement and sorting. Landfills, nature, from the ocean, whatever. There's plastic everywhere and it's for free. You just need to make sure you can sort it out in a recycling center. Then you put it in a machine called a pyrolysis machine. This machine is going to make an oil. And this oil, it's more and more in demand because it's the raw material to make new plastic based from recycled material, which we said the European Commission and the worldwide regulations are going to push more and more towards this. CORSAIR, what do they do? When they recycle some plastic, they create a token. It's the indisputable proof that an amount of plastic was removed from the environment for real. And they created an ecosystem of contributors, of partners, other companies. It can even be a school project that goes in nature and takes the plastic from the environment. They can get money, they can get paid by CORSAIR to get the right to create this token. It's absolutely revolutionary. So they're being called the contributor network. So CORSAIR recycle stuff, the other companies recycle plastic, both are going to create this proof that plastic was recycled, a token. Now this token, it will be exchanged to buy your plastic neutrality, or you're going to keep it as an investment because the demand is continuing to go higher and higher due to the regulations. So it's also a smart investment to buy and hold this token, which is based on a real economy, on an industrial activity, not speculation. There we go for the overview. Now let's talk about the company a little bit, where they are at now. This group, this CORSAIR group, is based in Bangkok. It's out of Thailand and Amsterdam. Started in 2020 from previous companies that already were doing some recycling. They have approximately 100 employees today. It's growing fast. Recycling centers with these machines. There's 3 in Thailand, 2 already in use, plus 1 that is being built in Koh Samui for the South Thailand, with 8 machines, so it's a lot. There's 1 machine, 1 center, being installed in Nordic Europe, Northern Europe. It's yet to be announced which countries. We should know by January. Government contracts with 3 countries, so now that starts to bring some credibility. Ghana, the Seychelles, and the Philippines, they are engaged with CORSAIR in order to become the first plastic neutral countries, meaning they're going to compensate their plastic emissions. Of course, it's a bit of greenwashing. It's marketing. You can say, oh yeah, I'm the first plastic neutral country. But at the end of the day, it's good for the environment and it's good for business, so everybody wins. And most importantly, they have the capacity to federate all the other companies that are recycling plastic already under using this token, the contributor program, which will make their process the industry standard, which companies and state are going to look directly towards when they're going to need to buy their plastic neutrality. So very promising sector. You can check all of that on their website, corsairnow.com. Let's talk about their vision. What do they want to do, these people? They want to clean the planet from all the pollution by converting it into another form of energy and product that is good for the environment. Very clearly. And that's what I love, especially in the spiritual standpoint. We're talking about a paradigm shift here. We want to come from a big problem that we don't know what to do with it to, oh, we have a lot of raw material. All this plastic waste, it can be used smartly and it's worth money. So it's aligned with what we call a circular economy for plastic. It's promoted by the context and the politics. Hopefully right now there's the G20 in Indonesia. I hope they're going to talk about the plastic problem. You know, it's similar to what exists today for metal, for plastic bottles, for paper. It can be done for most plastic, but we're so far from the objective that there is a big opportunity to move here on this new industry, especially because the regulations are in our favor. So, figures today. They have already removed 12 million kilograms of plastic from the environment. They are already producing per machine that is in use approximately 1.2 million liters of oil, which is approximately €1 per liter. So each machine can generate €1 million approximately if it's being fed correctly with clean plastic. They have more than 62,000 members, part of the program, and ambassadors like me. They launch innovative pilot projects to go and get more plastic from the environment, such as one I need to tell you about at the end of this video. And then, you know, you have governments like Ghana, the Seychelles, the Philippines, big companies that are already in business with them. And that's only 2 years in. They just celebrate their 2 years anniversary. So let's look at where they want to go. They want to go to 2 billion kilograms of plastic removed from the environment per year. That's the goal. And they want to do that. It's going to produce approximately 1 billion liter of plastic oil per year, which will make it a €1 billion turnover company. 2030, it's in 8 years. It's actually possible to reach it because the cost to set up a recycling center is very cheap. You just need to put the machine that is manufactured in China or in Korea, and you just need to hire the local people and redistribute the wealth this way and create jobs so that they can clean and sort out the trash. And basically that's it. You need a roof above that. So it's easy to implement. They want to have 144 centers in 81 countries. Great. Now, let's talk about the projects. So interesting, right? Look at this. Danone, Nestle, Unilever, Microsoft, Starbucks, they're saying, we think that plastic credits, it could really be the solution for plastic pollution. Why are the big polluting companies saying they want this? Because they know it's unavoidable. They know the regulations are coming, but they don't want to go and clean up their mess. They have money. They want to pay for someone else to do it. That's why they're happy about this plastic credit system, because they can just buy it. It will just become a problem of someone else cleaning for your own mess. But again, it works because the environment wins at the end of the day. So, value proposition. Let's say you're interested to learn more how you can join, what's in it for you, you know. As a member, first you're going to contribute to the plastic depollution because you're going to order from this company to clean plastic from the environment. So at the end of the day, energetically at least, and physically, you had an impact in the environment. So you're contributing to plastic depollution. Number two, you're supporting a smart business-driven project that has a chance to change something at the worldwide scale because there's the regulations and because the big companies, they want this. So it's not, again, a hippie project of cleaning up the beach. It's something that can be implemented worldwide. 3, you're going to hold the first plastic credit token, which is going to become the market standard because they are the only one on public exchange today. They already are federating all the other companies doing it. So it's really smart in business to be among the first to go on a new market. So they're going to be the first plastic credit worldwide system that is used, and that's why the value is going to go up. So you can hold that token. And 4th, you're taking part in this change, in this paradigm shift, in raising the awareness, because now you understand a little bit more about the size of the problem of plastic, and when people tell you about this problem, you have something to say. You say, oh, look, I'm part of this company. They're doing something that can actually make a difference. So you're participating in raising awareness and shifting the paradigm here. So that's kind of the value proposition. If you want, you can buy your own plastic neutrality by burning these tokens, and you will have the consciousness of having compensated your plastic pollution. And you can just buy these tokens and hold them and sell them in a few months, in a few years, when the price goes way higher up, because the regulations are putting the pressure towards this. I show you a short video. This is what it looks like when you arrive at their main center in Bangkok. It's in the landfill of Bangkok. It's called Bangkok 1. And you see, this was actually shot like a month ago. What it looks like inside. And you see, it's pretty simple to set up. You see, you have like a very simple building, and then you have these huge machines. And then you have the process of the people preparing the plastic waste ahead of putting it in the machine. And what you're seeing here is the CEO showing that what it looks like, 5 tons of plastic, which is the emission of 1 human being in their life. All right, that's enough. You can find more of that online. I just want to tell you something about the certification process, because that's very important. You have the ISCC, which is the governing body, the regulatory body, that certifies the quality of this plastic oil to make sure you can use it for new plastic. So that's not CORSAIR based, that's international standard. And actually, CORSAIR is the first and the only company that is certified ISCC Plus in Thailand. Of course, because that's what they want to promote, you know. But it's funny that in Thailand, they are the only ones. They have the rights to release these plastic credits, the CSR token. They have an audited process to track and make sure we know where is the plastic coming from, where it was recycled, how much, and guaranteeing that when a token is released, we have the traceability. And this for them, but also for their partners. So the CSR is to become the industry standard. That's what makes the whole project so interesting in a business standpoint. We can check that on the ISCC website. Okay, let's finish. You have a token. It's very important. It's central to the activity because it's what you're going to invest in. That's what you're going to use to buy your plastic neutrality. And its value is connected to a real world activity. 1 kilo of plastic waste is being removed from the environment. 10 tokens are created. This plastic is converted in plastic oil, advanced biofuel, that is then sold to the manufacturing companies. If someone wants to buy their plastic neutrality, which the regulations are going to push towards, then you just have to buy this token, or if you have it already, you just have it, and you burnt it. In the crypto blockchain space, burn the token means it disappears. No one can sell it later and make money of it. It's actually gone. You really invested and you got the value out of it. So this CSR, like CORSAIR CSR, is the uncorruptible digital proof that some plastic was removed from the environment. That's why it has so much value, because everybody's going to need to prove they removed plastic from the environment. So who is behind? There's a guy named Jussi Salo-Ranta. He's from Finland. He's based in Thailand for a long time. He did a lot of business in real estate, building in Bangkok and around Bangkok. He's really into blockchain and finance. He loves and is passionate about green energies. And he took over CORSAIR when it was not in a good position. I don't know, 1.5 years or 2 years ago. He he saw that it was too big of an opportunity to let it disappear, because the people in charge were like really bad at their job. So he fired everybody, he took back the company, he made up for all the issues and the problems that there was, and now he's making it a huge success. So it's a great guy, especially business-wise. Credibility factors. They signed the deals with some governments. First, signed with Thailand, 8 machines. So that's going to be the biggest center so far in Koh Samui to recycle all of the plastic from the south of Thailand. 7.2 liters per year. Same in the Philippines. And they are in contract with Thai Union Group, which is a big company of $4 billion turnover, 50,000 employees, in order to operate even bigger projects, because CORSAIR itself is still a bit small. Under this collaboration, Ghana and Seychelles are going to be able to compensate all their plastic pollution and say they are the first plastic neutral countries. So if governments are in business with them, it's like a little bit interesting, right? Especially for investment and business purposes. They're already on the stock market because one of the companies from their consortium called CORSAIR Capital on the stock market in Cyprus, 70,000 shareholders, $17 million of market capitalization, meaning that institutions and big investors can enter this business through these stock options and stock market. So it's going to be called CORSAIR Capital Avia Pervia. This was just announced like last month, so they're just restructuring a little bit so that they can open the new shareholders to join this project. For now, it's not available. We can't become a shareholder yet because they're restructuring. Hotels. You have the Courtyard from the Marriott company in Bangkok, several hotels, the Ibis and other big hotels in Bangkok who are joining in partnership with CORSAIR. You can see like the CEO there at the hotel, because they want to say, oh, we're plastic neutral, because it's greenwashing. It's great for marketing. But at the end of the day, they're paying CORSAIR to clean up the environment on their behalf. So, you know, that's great for credibility when you have prestigious hotels working together with CORSAIR already. You have many other companies that have entered business deals with CORSAIR. You can see Michelin, Nissan, Ford, and so on. You can see all of that on their website. And one thing that I really love is that they're doing some innovative pilot projects. It's called the Plastic Catch. It's already launched. It's in Thailand because, you know, they have most of their activities in Thailand at the moment. What is it? They realized, wait, there's a lot of plastic in the ocean, but it takes too much money to go and get it. You have to pay the fuel, all these people taking out the plastic from the ocean and so on. And the CEO is so smart. Honestly, on a business point of view, it's crazy. He said, actually, there's people already fishing out the plastic from the ocean. It's the fishermen, because when they pull back their nets, you have all the fish and all the plastic. And today, they're just throwing back the plastic in the ocean. He said, wait, actually, keep it on the boat, bring it back to the port, and we're going to buy it from you. You're going to make an extra income for no extra effort. So today, 10,000 boats, 100,000 fishermen in total in Thailand are just getting the plastic out of the ocean, and when they arrive at the port, they're getting money from CORSAIR in exchange for the plastic. And then CORSAIR can recycle it and make the oil. This is so smart. This is a way to make a change in the world. Okay, so here we can see the CEO with the chairman of the association, of the Samut Sakon Fishery Association. They made a video to make sure, you know, it's not all fluffy and it's real. It's very beautiful. Okay, so let's conclude. You want to join the project because it resonates for you. You want to be part of something that is good for the planet, that is good for your sovereignty, and also that makes sense on a business standpoint. So, welcome to our conscious community. You have 3 ways to come and join. You can buy your CSR token, meaning you're ordering from the company to clean plastic for you, and they're going to give you the tokens. So that's what, of course, is the most easy way to join. You can also become an ambassador like me, because you want to even create a bigger income stream, and you think it makes sense to invest your energy in a project that is win-win-win for the environment, for the people, and for the big companies. super easy to spread the word, and I love to train people how to establish themselves as a conscious entrepreneur in something new. I like the network here. And then soon you can become a shareholder. Great. Just to make clear, when you're an ambassador and you generate an income from that, because when people join and buy the tokens, you have a commissions, why is the company wanting you to do that? Because they already make money from selling the oil. Absolutely. Getting these people coming to invest by ordering the tokens is not the main income for Corsair. But this extra income, they use it to go and implement new recycling centers. So they need ambassadors for, number one, shining the project so that it can really become market standard, and number two, to getting extra finances to open new cycles, to open new centers all around the world and recycle more and more plastic. So, long story short, I believe that it's a great opportunity to be part of something that is good for the planet, that is good for yourself, that is easy to share because it's a topic that everybody's sensitive to and that actually has a chance to change things. Okay, so that's it for this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. I did my best to give you all the information in the most short amount of time. If you resonate, if you feel curious, if you have questions, please contact me. It's my highest joy to put all my energy, all my light into this project and see what I can create through a conscious entrepreneurship network. So if you just want to be a member because you like this idea, you want to buy a token, I made a little tutorial for you. You can find it attached to this video. If you need to talk to me about it, please do. And more importantly, if you want to learn to be an ambassador and diversify your income stream, then just come talk to me. I can teach you. It's really easy today in the world to share something like this that is good for everyone, that makes sense, that gets you paid on a weekly basis. So it's something that I really feel is aligned to conscious entrepreneurship and establishing yourself more in your sovereignty. So I hope you liked it. Thank you. Please connect with me through my Telegram community, through the various channels that I share my messages, and have a beautiful, blessed day.